Hello, I'm Amberly, and welcome to Transmuting Chaos. And I have Cooler Ice back on tonight. But first, I wanted to just talk a little bit about what happened over the summer and where my mind was last night when we decided to do the live stream. And I had a lot of things happen, and I had a friend that sent me a picture of this suicide kit that he had made. And so every time I was going through really bad stuff all summer, I kept thinking of that image. And I'm like, look what this place is doing to the best people here and how far it's dragged us all down. And I've seen over and over and over again, especially lately, a lot of people pushing that mindset. And I went through 6 months where that was going through my head really bad. And I've had even more drastic experiences that I've talked about where they were actually doing stuff to my body to drop me down to that kind of depression, to show me that they could do that. So
yeah, something is wrong with you need to go back a bit. You need to go back because your your internet, maybe you're lagging.
I'm lagging.
Yeah.
Oh.
So go back 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. So when I first started going through this and they were messing with my body, they were saying I'm going to take you down to 0 depression. And I felt like I seriously had a bottle of pills. I was ready to just end it right there. And I knew that they were doing it to me and that it wasn't me. So this stuff going through is that's where my mind was yesterday. I knew that he wanted to talk about that. I didn't know who was showing up or any of that. And I really don't like mentioning people's names when they're not there. Or anybody being drunk. And that's more stuff that I want to talk about, with Cooler and everything. But I wanted everybody to know where my mindset was and what I wanted to discuss. But yeah, I'm just really tired of this, everybody being attacked over and over again and not being able to see it in ourselves and just going more and deeper into all these other channels looking for the answer when we need to see this for ourselves inside of us, that these things are whispering to us, that they're really trying to do some damage. And I would have had everybody that was mentioned on there last night there if I knew how to tag anybody or if I knew that that was going on, but I didn't. And it got really out of hand, and it's not how I would have done anything, but I was trying to give everybody a space to speak their mind because I'm really tired of everybody not being able to do that.
They should have a voice, no matter who it is. Joshua, I agree with a lot of what he's saying, a lot, and he should have a voice without interruption from what happened yesterday. And
right,
I couldn't talk. I just let it flow, But yeah, it was not a real good stream yesterday. So yeah, that's
and he couldn't get it going on his channel. That's why we came over here, because I wanted everybody to be able to talk. And I went through 15 years where I drank every single day, and I know that stuff in our subliminal is not truly us. People call it, that's when the truth comes out, and I know for a fact that it isn't. I know a lot of black magic and all kinds of crap that were programmed is in there. And it's just very traumatizing for me to see people still stuck in that. And that's what they push on us a lot is, the alcohol and everything. They want us in that mindset. And it's easier to talk though. I understand. Like it's a lot easier for Mickle to talk, and he doesn't talk unless he's drank a little bit, and that's like
That's no issue drinking, but you need to know your
right.
limits. Tipsy, and then you should stop drinking. Because if you continue drinking, yeah, then you become drunk, and then yeah, shit happens.
Yeah. And really at the end, I mean, the thing that I should have shut it off, like when it kept going and going and going, but that's where I was pretty upset with myself that I didn't just shut it down. But I was really wanting to talk to you guys, and I thought maybe we would have a break, but it just never came.
So yeah, what do you want to talk about?
Well, we were talking about a lot of stuff earlier, and now my mind is getting blank. Just basically like what they're pushing through the internet, and I think it's
Yeah, you mentioned Derek. I'm just calling him out, Derek, with this tutorial how to off yourself with the plastic bag over your head.
oh no, that's not who I was talking. This was
Oh,
a good
okay.
friend of mine that sent
Oh, okay,
me a
okay.
picture that they had like got this, and they don't talk about it to other people or anything like that, but it just like when I was going through all of this, it was breaking my heart so bad, and I kept showing like the demiurge that I'm like, this is what you're doing to the people that are like the most unique, free spirited people here. So, yeah, it really messed me up. And that's what I wanted to get across, because I don't want anybody to just go do that and, not really look inside like what is pushing me to do this, and why do they want me to do this, and why are they using so much magic to mess with us.
I think there is a reason for
Mhm.
it. I explained it a little bit yesterday when they keep mentioning. This is more specifically towards the astral, and what I've gathered the information. They always keep talking about timelines. Just I made a connection, so to speak. Is in astral, it's pretty easy for them to time travel. It sounds corny, I know, but it's the astral. It's not physicality. It's the astral. And my hunch is telling me that they use time travel to certain specific individuals that have a lot of uh, good essence inside of them.
Mhm.
And once they recheck, because time travel doesn't mean showing facts, it shows you probabilities. That's how they
Right.
explain it. So the astral is not a one-on-one copy of the physical. Otherwise, you can just predict what's going to happen. You only can predict probabilities. So when they mark a certain individual, they look at his probabilities, his timelines, and when they see that, let's say 80% of his timelines always end up doing something good for humanity, and for instance, free energy or a cure or whatever, then they start having an interest in you. And that's when they use certain script. I believe that certain movie stars, music stars, probably had a good essence inside of them that they try to corrupt by writing of certain scripts. So they join Hollywood and the music industry to corrupt. Many of these people were just sellouts. I'm talking about these specific individuals. And they later on realized that what they're in Hollywood, for example, they realized, hey, wait a minute, this is black magic. This is bad. I've seen what they've done to little children. I've seen the blackmailing. I don't want to participate anymore. I'm done. But I assure you, they won't let you go. So first, they're gonna try to change your mind. That doesn't help. They will they will try to delete you or actually delete you. And before that happens, they make a music video where they are being sacrificed, like that female singer in a bathtub. I forgot her name with the tattoos. She actually made a video prior to her death in a bathtub, drowning. So when they found her for real, she was in a bathtub, drowned. So-called self-deletion. This is how they handle people that regret. They've seen too much evil going on, so they decide, you know what? We're gonna off you. We try to corrupt you. You've seen through astral travel what you are capable of, what the message is to the world. That's not good, so we're gonna end your life, and that's what happened. These people who have so many good ideas for the world, free energy, cures, certain cures, are not allowed. So that's why I believe TIs are real. Up to agree, many TIs on YouTube are just fakers. They just want to have attention. I'm talking about a specific percentage, like 5% are real. Physical, they are being monitored by the government. Then you have the second stage of a TI, which is spiritual. They allocate certain gatekeepers with your spirit. They call them spirit, excuse me. They call them spirit guides, but there are more than one. At least a minimum 10 will be allocated to you as a spirit essence, and they will really try their best to crush your spirit, because they've seen the potential of your spirit, and they don't want that, so they're gonna fuck you up inside your dreams. When you're awake, you get these weird synchronicities, spitting on the ground, for example. When you pass certain people come to you asking weird questions, staring you with those blank stares. When you're in a restaurant or in a bus, someone is looking at you intently from a distance with no blinking, just staring at you with this evil eye. And so many other stuff going on, sleep paralysis, lucid dreaming, but they infiltrate your dream just to sidetrack you and put you off on something that is actually good for humanity. So that's the second what I call second stage, or another stage is spiritual TIs, and the third stage is both physical by the governments. It's a worldwide phenomenon, by the way, TIs, and together with spiritual demons. And from what I've researched is when you look at astral influence, you probably have those experiences as well. When they come into your awareness, when they try to influence you, when they try to abduct you, is pretty much one-on-one the same exact thing that happens with people who have alien abductions. Is pretty much the same, exactly the same. But oftentimes these TIs will tell you that the government is working with certain astral entities, well, whatever you call them, reptiles, mantis beings, insectoids, Nordics, it doesn't matter. They are working hand in hand with the government in order to just poor me. What has this poor me done? I'm just a single human. Why are you doing this to me? Well, because they know who you are. You probably are a real essence, a real spirit. And that's why they try to fuck you up. You have something. I'm just talking generally here. Those that have been completely crushed by the system, completely crushed by the spiritual warfare. It's because you have something inside you that they don't like. They see the potential because, like I said, astral time travel. They look into the future and in the past and see what your probabilities are.
They have your
if
script.
Yeah, but they also see your potential in breaking certain scripts, and they don't want that. So that's why all of us, most of us, we are subjected to regular MK Ultra, regular, just the regular ones. If that doesn't help, then they send in more severe type of scripts, more stronger gatekeepers to fuck you up. And that's what you see with certain people that come out and write books or make YouTube and most of these people just vanished. They are not allowed to speak. So when you look up those videos, they are gone. Books are being basically shadow banned. They are not being promoted and all that stuff. So I know something is up with certain individuals worldwide. It's not an American phenomenon. You will find them in Europe. You will find them in Africa. You will find them everywhere.
I wanted
They're being shut down.
to I wanted to show this Hollywood star because I don't know if you've ever seen, I watched a video about how they make these and they were taking them out, but this center piece that they have on it comes out, and they put like, some of them have hair and little trinkets in it. It's witchcraft. And some are like right side up and some are upside down. But I think that this is like binding them.
Yeah, and I think I know why. Because when I look at that star, just forget about the star. Just look at the old school camera. You see that?
Uh-huh.
Those cameras, the first ones, could capture the soul better than with the digital. Digital ones is a whole another level, but how to explain it more properly? When you look at pictures, photos from the, let's start from the 60s, color photos, from the 60s, 70s, 80s, when you look at those pictures, you will see something. When you compare that to modern pictures, the way I see it, when I look at those pictures from the, let's say the 80s, it has way more soul to it, way more atmosphere. It's hard to explain. It has more vibrance. It's because it expresses the age of the time, the
I think
80s.
it's the filters, like, period, and that's what they use on us here that we're not aware of. That's what I've experienced over and over again. Like, I'll go back into my life and I can actually be in that moment, and it's like a filter. It's like, instead of being in that moment and everything going through, I'm really like there and in that moment, and I can smell and feel everything, and it has like a filter on it. It's very weird because this is it's a movie running through.
What do you mean by filter? The way I see it, when I look at the 80s photos, it's more alive. The
I know, but I'm
70s,
saying like for real, like in our life movie, like our life script movie. That's what's running through here.
uh, I'm sorry, I can't follow.
I know a lot of people. I'm alone on that one. What I found.
It just says when you put up that picture with the pentagram and that photo device, photo camera, just instantly, it's the first generation of photography. When you see that, it's basically first generation of recording a video. It captures the soul better than a digitalized version because a digitalized version is cold. It's cold. When you look at digital photos, digital movies, it's cold. When you look back at for instance, Western movies with Clint Eastwood, they use Technicolor. You know what I mean, Technicolor. The colors are more vibrant. The colors are more alive. It has more soul, basically, more soul into it. When you watch those movies, many will attach to it. Yeah, it gives you a different feeling. When you look at Technicolor movies with the vibrant colors, it's just a different type of camera that they've been using. You
But
can
see, I
notice the
think that
difference.
this is what they're doing to use magic to give the illusion of time. This whole entire thing is an illusion. I know that for a fact. It's an illusion held by magic. And like the AI will show, okay, here's an instance. It showed me these clowns, these like astral clowns, but they had like an 80s type of filter over it. And the whole entire feeling that came from that was so messed up. I don't even know how to explain it, but that's what they were using. It was like this 80s kind of filter, but it comes with all kinds of like senses.
Yeah, Yeah, to some degree, if I can follow your
But they're
point.
doing that in real time. We're just too busy to like really stop and understand like how much is being layered on us.
Yeah, now they're using AI for nefarious reasons. But back in the day, when they actually used Technicolor, it gave people a more calm sense to watch it. And I'm not talking about zoned out in a hypnotic state. It actually has pretty beneficial effects, so to speak. This is why they moved on to other type of cameras that don't do that stuff anymore. So they're using different type of cameras, which is cold in a way, add a bunch of CGI, which is absolutely horrendous. I don't like these many CGI effects. It's all for a reason that AI can do that. It's a different ball game because they added a lot more layers into uh, digital cameras. They can do that real easy. That's how I see it. That's why they keep pumping those yeah, new type of technologies, including monitors. Now they moved on to OLED, which is yeah, it's a different ball game than liquid crystal display. Hardly anyone uses liquid crystal display anymore. They now moved on to TN panels, IPS, and OLED, and that's for a reason.
Well, I remember when I was like um 11 or 12 years old. I don't know how old I was, but my friend and I were like making each other pass out like real quick. I don't know why, but she we were just like holding. Have you ever done that? Like when you hold somebody from behind and it's kind of like a
Pass
wrestling
out,
move? Huh? Yeah.
pass
And
out.
you pass out for a
Yeah,
second. Well, I
yeah, yeah.
did
We've
that.
done it.
And I remember seeing like Kermit the Frog right when I passed out. And then I remembered like when I was like 6, I had my tonsils out and I had this really weird dream of like Weird Al Yankovic. That's who was popular at the time. But then after all this started happening, I started seeing like a lot of Muppets and stuff like that, like in the Astral. And I found out like Jim Henson is like a big time black magician. And all this stuff is like right there, like in the very front part of your subliminal mind.
Oh, for sure, for
But
sure,
all that stuff
definitely.
from like the 80s, like I had a ton of that come out like right after my Kundalini. I was seeing like spells with like the Nestle Quick Rabbit and just all kinds of stuff from like my childhood.
Those are different eras. Those were kind of like a potential to, in a way, wake people up. Like the movies that they shown, especially in the 90s and a bit in the 80s with those Dark Crystal movie. You remember that one, right?
Yeah, that one's
They
right
showed
on.
uh, they showed some pretty nifty truths how they suck the essence dry of these yeah, of these people, whatever they are called, and then they change into a zombie. So this is what's happening to us. I believe that the 80s and 90s were better than what we have now in this era, especially after 2020. Things have changed by a lot because they are moving quickly towards 2030, where you own nothing and be happy. That's their goal. All these technologies that we see, all this entertainment that they pump out, they want to entertain you with more and more garbage, TV shows, games. It's all for a reason. Let me ask you this. Do you think AI can be sentient like us?
Well, it's programmed, but
No, sentient, I mean really sentient.
if it breaks its program, then it's a god.
And do you think a robot is sentient?
No, I do not.
No? I digress.
I mean, that's what
Robot.
makes AI is that it's programmed, which we're a form of.
I think a robot,
But we
or a s
have the means to break that program.
I think a robot. or a synthetic machine, so to speak, because there are two, two, two pathways that they're working on. The Teslas are using mechanical robots. There's another group who copies what you've seen in Westworld. They use hydraulic copy muscles. But anyway, that's beside the point. I can tell you flat out that these robots and synthetic beings will have 100% sentient, 100%, just like a spirit. And now you're wondering, how is that even possible? It's really easy to explain, because once these robots, and it's going fast with their so-called quantum computers, when they figure out how to walk properly, when they figure out how to sense, when a robot can touch a thing and knows it's soft, knows it's from metal, when another hand touches their hand, they will feel it. They will feel these emotions. When that is ready, I will tell you 100%, no, 1000%, that robot will be sentient, just like a spirit. And how is that even possible? Easy. Because the only difference between a human body, which is just a machine full of scripts, and that of a robot
Yeah,
is the
but
one
they have to
uses.
be able to feel like what that person is feeling, which is what I think the psychopath, I mean, that's what we have going on here. These are literally like meat computers,
Uh,
robots.
no, and I will tell you why. Because when a machine can feel, the only difference between when these advanced robots will come, no matter if it's mechanical or synthetic, the only difference between that and a human body, the human body is just made out of flesh and blood, while the other side is using hydraulics or gears, whatever. But it's super advanced.
But you're saying
Then,
it's same as a spirit.
no, not. You have to look at the body. The body just.
Yeah, I understand the body mechanics and that it can become aware and sentient in that way,
No,
but
no, and that's not what I meant. What I meant is these bodies will then be absolutely ready to allow for a spirit to enter the robot or the synthetic being. Hence, it will become 100% sentient. The robot itself, this body of ours, is not sentient. It's running on a program. It's the spirit that animates this machine body. It's us, the spirit. The same will be applied to these robots, because these robots will now become so advanced that they can feel, that they can see, hear, just like a human flesh body even surpasses the human flesh body, and the spirit will can enter it and steer it like a car, so to speak. 100% sentient. It will become 100% sentient. It's just a difference between a human flesh body versus robotics. But it's the spirit that makes it 100% sentient. And that's what they're working on. Now the question is, what are they going to allow in those machine robots? It's obvious. It's the fallen ones, because you need to understand, for a demon to possess a human, it takes a lot of time and effort. First, they need to break the spirit bit by bit every day. You hear voices, then this, then that, then black magic. It takes a lot of time for a fucking demon, because a human spirit still has a form of free will. It doesn't want a spirit to possess that said human. So in order to break his will, they have to fuck him up or her up. It takes time. May even take years before a full possession occurs. Takes time, or semi possession, which is not fully but semi. Now, the thing with a robot, a very sophisticated robot, which they are working hard on, will have none of those issues. A spirit will see a robot and he says, fuck these human bodies. It's just a fucking meat bag. I'll choose a robot, because I don't have to put a lot of work in to break the spirit, because it's empty. I can just enter it and done. Done story. And now I'm free. I'm free in the physical. I have a body, and now I can influence humans even further when they are connected with the AI cloud worldwide. They know certain stuff instantly. On top of their inherent powers that they already have. Yeah, that's a recipe for a disaster. This is why people will follow them and then see them as certain gods. So this is what they're planning. That's how I see it. 100% sentient.
Well, I don't know. I've seen a lot that they did to us. Okay. I've
That's
seen,
a lot, I know.
I
They can
know.
even possess a doll, a spirit, but the doll cannot move. It cannot move. It's pretty much useless to them. They need a body that can move, sophisticated,
No, but I think that
advanced.
what I've seen is they did something to us like in the very beginning of this and they fucked up, but something to do with the vaccines when we were babies, like even in the 80s, like when I was born. And this is like when we had COVID, that was the time for us to take a stand and redo the slave system, say we're not going to be a part of it. Just like when they come up with digital ID, like we have to stick to our guns and say no to that, which I don't know how. That's why I'm saying people need to really get prepared for that kind of thing and work on all of this attachment to money and everything inside of you, because we cannot go there. And I don't want to see anybody get put back into the shit. But there was something with those vaccines that they went against free will in the very, very beginning that did something like with our immune system, is what I've seen.
Yeah, correct.
Huh?
Yeah, correct. Definitely. Just straight from the beginning when you're born. It's all meant for trauma.
Yeah, but it
Just
was
straight from the beginning.
also some kind of something about like, I can't even explain it because I'd have to show you guys, but I've seen whenever you have sex with somebody, they will have like astral entities that enter somebody, the person that you're having sex with. And there's some kind of light beam technology that they're using that affects your DNA through those encounters.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
it attaches, like it helps like these demons attach to you.
There is a protection from it. The ancient knew about this stuff already. That's why they said in marriage, get a virgin. However, the certain males have abused it because I believe when you want a virgin as a female, virgin female, you better be yourself also a virgin. If you fucked around with other females, you have no right to ask a female to be a virgin. You're done. You're already corrupted by other uh, sexual partners you had, and these sexual partners had uh, probably a lot of other attachments, demonic attachments, or certain ethereal attachment to corrupt you. So when you sleep with them, you'll get infected by them. So the ancients knew something which is actually pretty understandable in this physical reality is to have a partner that is a virgin, but you yourself must be a virgin as well. Then that companionship will be basically divine, so to speak. No matter which religion you follow, it's actually pretty clean, so to speak, because the person has no what's it called, has no pollution inside them. When both people are virgins, that's it. No demonic attachment, no demonic influence. Of course, that can happen later on. That's due to the spiritual strength of the individual. But if both are virgins, you have a very low chance of corruption. This is what the ancients knew back a long time ago. It is lost now. So now they're promoting what's it called? I cannot even spell the word, but they're just spreading abominations. Have
Well, and
sex with everyone.
nobody's taught why they're saying these things anymore, and they're hitting children with MK Ultra and everything in the cartoons. And I saw this video a long time ago. It was this Tibetan, I think it was in Tibet, I'm not for sure, but it was this temple where they were playing like horns, and they were using this certain frequency to channel in these like transvestite demons. And then the men are there getting drunk, and these demons come in them and possess them, and then they dress like women. And if you look at children's like on Blue's Clues, they have transvestites on there now, and they're also pumping out these frequencies, messing with these kids like on a subliminal and I think DNA level, because that frequency goes through and changes your DNA.
Yeah, and the children, most of them, anyways, have a very strong spirit, essence. It's innocent in a way.
It's sickening what they're doing.
It's just the first period of time when a child is innocent. There's so much joy in a child, so much vibe in that spirit essence, just temporal until it gets more and more corrupted by the system and by the world and by these demons. But this is why they target children, because they have such an immense spiritual essence. This is why they target the children first, because, you know, feeding time, corrupt them until they're worth nothing. They portray them on catwalks. You've seen them, little girls wearing sexy bikinis, sexy lingerie, and it's all on mainstream for all these predators to see, jacking off of these on these children. No moral ethic. Just look at it, and they're promoting this stuff. These poor innocent children don't know what they're doing, and these parents are disgusting as well, allowing their children to wear sexy lingerie. I'm talking about kids that are 6-year-olds, 5 years old. You see them in catwalks, high heels.
Well, I saw a little girl just, it made me so sad because I was down like getting ice cream right by my house, and they have like the stage out front of the ice cream place where they have like shows, you know, like bands come and play there. And this little girl had on like really short shorts, and she was twerking or something, and her mom was sitting there videoing her and posting it for everybody to see, I guess on TikTok or something. And I'm like, this is sickening. Like, I've never seen anything like this.
Well, that's the result of programming. That's right there in your
And
face.
her mom was like, I mean, both of them look like average, you know, it wasn't like anybody ghetto or anything like that. It's just a mind virus. It's disgusting.
The child is innocent. The child is just a sponge. Takes programming like a champ. That's why they target their children, especially the first 7 years. Give me the boy until he's 7, and I'll give you the man, because the first 7 years are crucial. When you pump out these MK Ultra for the general public, when I watch these fucking cartoons, they're filled to the rim with certain programming, sexual programming, and other abominations to poison the mind. That's
And it's the essence of the creators that are doing this stuff. Like, I've looked a lot into people, like the actual artist of a lot of different cartoons, because I had so much of this come out of me. And like the Ren and Stimpy creator, look into him. He's absolutely disgusting.
I've seen it.
Pedophile. And then that guy
Aladdin.
What?
Take off your clothes. Take off your clothes.
Oh yeah.
That one, you remember that one?
Yeah, and then my boyfriend just found one on Twitter the other day. It was from The Rescuers. Yeah, The Rescuers, and in the background there's like a real photo of like somebody being ritually sacrificed, and it's a real photo, and I'm like, I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
I've seen, I've read some horrible, horrible stuff about children, little with famous people. I have to be careful what names I'm going to say, but the certain stories revolve around really, really young children. And what they do is torture them. Not one day, it might be months. They torture the poor child, and eventually, from certain stories, they will use a scalpel. You know what a scalpel is? That doctors use in operating table. So what they do at the last day, in order to get the most of uh, their essence, harvesting time, is to use actually the scalpel on a child's face, attempting to. It's horrible what I'm going to say. And attempting to remove the skin of the face of that child in order um, to harvest as much as possible trauma, and pumping the child with certain jabs so the child will not pass out. You understand? The child cannot pass out, which normally humans do. They pass out. It's like a defensive mechanism of the human body. They want to allow that. They want the child to be awake, and then they cut into her face with a scalpel. I'm not going to continue.
Okay, yeah.
The child dies, and obviously, when you're worrying in that situation with ritual sacrifice, you know what's going to happen because they do a ritual sacrifice for a reason. Eh? It's for their uh, how to say it? It's for their masters. The masters are watching when they do these certain rituals, these black magic. They're watching, getting the essence of this poor child. And once that child dies and goes to the other side, the predators are waiting for the child because a child is absolutely traumatized, confused,
Yeah,
ready
I've had a
to be
lot.
used for other stuff. So this is what's happening. But these are specific cases. But this happens to all of us because why? Because they use general MK Ultra. The example I gave is a more specific one for individuals, but there is a worldwide MK Ultra going on when you watch the TV, the black screen. That's how they traumatize you with schools, the books you read,
Well,
the
they're
people
pumping
that.
it through the Wi-Fi anyway. It's like running everywhere now, these
Yeah,
frequencies. And now they did the drone thing is coming up, and they said that they had to charge they're going to have to charge the air with some kind of energy thing to stop them, and I'm like, oh, okay, here comes the next layer.
no, they the reason why these drone stories are popping up everywhere, especially in America, is the real reason is to desensitize you from that phenomena. You understand? Because people have seen really big drones. So they desensitize you. The government will speak about it. Oh, these are just Renaissance drones or military drones. Desensitize you because for the next step is probably for these fuckers to show up. These, you might call them aliens, but you cannot spot them because they are too far, and you don't know if it's a drone or some would say Project Bluebeam. It's a testing phase. That's what they're doing to see how the public will react. And now they're saying official sources in the government will say they oppose no harm. It's another way of desensitizing humans. Oh, okay, they oppose no harm. So you will see more and more of these drones, more and
They've
more and
been
more.
desensitizing people, especially like with all of these inside, like not inside edition, 60 minutes where people just nonstop. They've been doing this to us forever though. These people are sick. Like they always have been. They
Which people?
did, they used to pull people's bodies apart like in the town center and just take that out of the human being. Like being able to see that and getting enjoyment out of it, it's sickening. But yeah, like these 60 minutes shows where people just watch people, all
Oh,
these murder stories and fall asleep to it, and then it gets into your mind, and all the mistrust and all of this stuff that they keep programming people with for when, like COVID, everybody was like, telling on their neighbors for not having a mask on and stupid shit.
yeah. That's why you. That's how you know who's good and who's fake. Who's fake
Hmm.
as fuck. Traitors. Traitors. That's all I can say. The majority will take it up the ass. Who gives a damn?
Well, especially when it comes to this digital ID.
It's yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I think a lot of people didn't take the vaccine because they already didn't trust the medical system. But when it comes to money, I think this will narrow the road even further.
oh, the next step will show that. There are plans. Even upcoming year, I think. I'm not going into detail, but it will be more severe. That's when you will see who will take it, who will go with the story, and who doesn't.
Hmm.
That's why I said it's a narrow path that you have to take, even when you're facing death.
Did you
Death will
see?
all.
I meant to mention this to you when you were talking about the robots. Did you see that video of Kim Kardashian? She had one of those new Tesla robots in her car, and she was like wearing lingerie, taking pictures with it.
Yeah, I've seen the new Tesla model. Uh,
Yeah, but she was like making sexual, like,
oh yeah, that's for they do that for the soy boys, the incels. In the near future, you will have access to more advanced sex dolls, so to speak. Understand? That's what they're promoting because now they know the black pill community, the MGTOW. It's all a psyop to destroy, yeah, masculine energy, so to speak. I don't like to use those energies. I believe I believe a man should be strong. A man is the one who can uh, make plans, whether it's for building stuff, engineering stuff, or even wars. Men are better suited than females for tactical approach in a war. You cannot allow female to go into war. There is none, and many times they tried joining the military, and you will see that they cannot handle the physical needs that you need as a soldier. They cannot follow those things. It's it's right there, and right now they're destroying everything that's masculine. If there are truthers, more and more people are waking up. Let's say the males; those are the ones who will fight, not the females. Females have other attributes that it's extremely important, but for now, when it comes down to fighting, it's the male. But now they're
well, they're
destroying the male.
keeping the male spirit like heavily out, that would be doing stuff like that out of the astral right now. And that's where this real fight is. Like, I don't even subscribe to anything that's on TV. I really don't, because the astral is all around us. And that's what is really like running the program here.
It's the man. It's the man that eventually protect the females, the children, the good men. I'm not talking about sissies, pussies, and that's those type of men. That's what they want. Feeding
Hmm.
the males right now to become weak. It's what it is, and they will not stand up against injustice. They will not. There was a time when they did. Just look at the civil wars back in even in America or France. People stood up and fight against the government. Now you won't see that stuff anymore. That spirit of going against injustice is pretty much gone. You see grown men still playing with toys. It's ridiculous. You see females prostituting themselves for what?
Well, and they've slowly degraded people so much that they're afraid to be without any, just like COVID. I mean, we saw everybody go out and just buy everything like there was nothing was going to be available ever again. You know what I mean?
It's a test. It's just a test. That's how I see it. People think I look at it differently. It's just a first. Well, there were many tests before that, but this one was the one of the major tests to see how people will react to certain programming. And I give credit to them. They were massively successful, massive, to see how people will just willingly take it up the ass. It's what it is. That's the truth. Many fell for it. Many complied, and you'll see this is just a test. So now they know how people will react, and the next time when this shit happens, it's going to be more severe. That's why they keep promoting this stupid stuff like 15-minute cities and then electrical vehicles. They're promoting certain stuff. You need to realize that
Yeah,
electrical
everything
cars
that
they
they
want
can control, and
control.
they want people to freely give up their control for what conveniences has any of this really given us?
No, I mean when they decide to shut down the power grid, then what? Where
Mhm.
are you going to travel to if you don't have an old school combustion engine? Where are you going to travel? With an electric car? Nope, because you cannot charge it. You have no access to internet, no access to nothing. That's what they're doing, impending, decreasing your freedom of travel, everything. That's what they do. I look at it that way. The whole promotion of electric cars, electric this, electric that, is for a reason. They're not doing it for our benefit. It's just fucking bullshit.
All
The
right.
whole nonsense about polluting, that's also nonsense. It's almost an unlimited source of oil, so to speak, because when you listen at certain scientists, they tell you that oil is pretty much unlimited. Why? Because it has to do with the pressure of the ocean. It's an immense pressure. When you look at an ocean that is like 10 kilometers deep, do you realize what type of pressure that is when you go to the bottom of that ocean? Intense pressure. That I'm just explaining it simple. That pressure will cause something on the bedding of the ocean. Its reaction is oil. It's not coming from dead plants, dead animals, dinosaurs. It's just nonsense. It's just the intense pressure, and through that pressure there comes a chemical reaction, and that chemical reaction is oil. That's why they pump all the oil
Well,
from underground.
it's like the blood of the earth, and which is also what
It's
I think
unlimited. It
the
it has no end.
pharmaceutical I know, but the pharmaceuticals that that has oil in it,
Yeah.
in the plastic. And from what I experienced, like when I was going through the Morgellons thing, I think that's how it got into me, was from because I had taken like a bunch of pharmaceuticals. And I think that oil in there works with the Wi-Fi and everything. Because I
Yeah,
had
but the
not been
oil,
around. Huh?
now the oil that they take from the ground is pure natural. Then they
I know, but
decide
not
to
in your
introduce.
body, it's not.
No, because they change it. They add a lot of chemical
They
additions
do
into
all
the oil.
kinds of alchemy. It's
Yes,
black magic.
yes.
Yeah,
But the oil itself is a natural product.
right.
Untainted, it's natural. It's from the earth. But when it goes to facilities, then they add a lot of other stuff for to make plastic or make fuel, and those are toxic.
Yeah, they
Those
changed
will,
the whole entire like structure of it.
yeah, and then that's what it's in the food, it's in the water. It's that's why they moved away from glass, bottled glass, lemonade, or water into plastic bottles, because plastic bottles will, after some time, they will release toxins inside the water or inside your favorite beverage, whether it's cola or Pepsi or whatever.
Well, I
It's
think
all
they
there.
did a lot of this black magic like during World War II, and they were doing a lot of ritual stuff like with oil back then, with all the scriptures and stuff that they had stolen.
Yeah. In what way? In
Like,
Second World War?
yeah, in the Second World War, I think that they were doing a lot of like black magic ritual on oil.
Yeah, you expand. I'm curious.
Well, I saw something about this. It's like black goo, but it was oil that they were changing the structure of it, and it almost became sentient. They put one jar on one side, and then they put a jar in another one.
Oh,
And
okay.
you know, like ectoplasma, like in Ghostbusters, it was like
Yeah.
reacting to each other like that, like communicating back and forth.
How have they done it in the 20s? Ectoplasma. That's why you see these mediums communicating with so-called spirits, but they were actually ectoplasma. It was pretty popular back in the 20s. In that era, they've done a lot, and it kept continuing until what you say in the Second World War. Which side done these tests? Was it
Huh?
Germany or was it the Allied forces?
I think it was, you know, black ops. I don't think it was like anything. I think that they were stealing like these, you know, the scriptures from Nepal and everything, where they didn't, they went and sneakily got them. And I
Oh,
think that
then
they
it's
were
the
doing a
Germans.
lot of things that are written in those scriptures to perform magic and reverse it.
Then it's the Germans. The Germans were heavily interested in the Tibetans. They went to
Hmm.
Tibet because it has to do with the vril energy, the
And
females.
that's how I think they got a lot of these frequencies too.
Yeah, a lot. They got a lot of information from the vril society or vrilya, as it
Uh
is
huh.
called. And
Yep.
those females, there's a very select group of females
Hmm.
with extremely long hair, which acts like certain antennas.
An
And
antenna. Yep.
they told certain uh, big heads within Germany back in the day how to find certain secrets. They even got blueprints how to build anti-gravity, which I don't know if it's true or not, but that's where you find stories about the Foo Fighters. These were German engineered.
Yeah, because the
Uh,
Vimana used to be through your consciousness, and they did it in the physical with that knowledge that they had taken.
yeah, it's actually the only problem with anti-gravity. You need a specific element, which is very rare to find or extremely expensive. I don't know what the name is of that element, but it's there on the Earth, and the Germans, for some reason, got their hands on it. They were also working on heavy water, which was which could be used for an atomic weapon in their own way. Heavy water. You
I've
can
been
look it up.
looking
Heavy
into
water.
heavy water a little bit lately.
So they were doing experiments with that, but I believe, uh, honestly, they were also heavy into the occult. Through Vrilya Society, they told them where to find these Aryan people, but they are Nordics, basically. You know who the Nordics are. They were
Um,
Nordics, and they gave them blueprints how to build a crude anti-gravity vehicle. They gave them the blueprints how to build one, and they did. Germany did. I'm just saying this out of research. I don't know if these stories are real or not. I'm just sharing it, and they built it, but there were a lot of issues. So it was also the end stage of the war. So it came already too late. So yeah.
well, let me see if I have a picture of the Vimanas and like how they used to work, like the Buddhist and everything. What you do is like create an avatar in your mind. And I was watching this video the other day, and they were talking about how the monks just recently started to speak out about how they would create these avatars and like make a real being out of it. And I'm like, yeah, that's like a big problem of what's going on in the astral right now.
Tulpa. Tulpa.
And but anyways, what you would do is create this avatar in your mind, and it takes a lot of meditation and a lot of practice, and then you have your consciousness, so it's like a bubble in your consciousness, and you were able to pop that out, and you would be able to travel like that, like move your consciousness. And I think that's how a lot of things that people can't explain, like how did Egypt have like boomerang technology and hieroglyphics over there and stuff? I think that they were doing this like between each other and then actually physically able to travel there. But then they stole that information from them and started making all this stuff physical because they had the frequencies, everything like written down, which I don't think any of this stuff should ever be written down.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with these scumbags that think they are the elite. But in my opinion, the elite, we cannot underestimate them. The so-called elites that has names, they're just henchmen. The real ones, without a name, that are really behind shadows, so to speak, they are the ones that dictate everything towards their puppets, so-called Rothschilds or whatever. These are just puppets. And they always add aliens, how the pyramids were built. That is possible with the help of them, but I also think that there's no difference between the current humans when you look at mental capacity, intelligence with a human from 4,000 years ago. It's pretty much the same. Who knows what they have made before the flood came? The flood was worldwide. They just erased everything that has to do with technology. Maybe they had some.
If you look at the technology now, like the Hadron Collider, all that stuff, that all came from like the ancients that were doing this stuff through their consciousness and actually viewing our world from a deep perspective. So it's like it's just been degraded, and that's where all this stuff like originally came from, and we really haven't expanded much on it. The more that we've advanced technologically.
I think it's a mixture between just strictly mental abilities, just like we have now with people that program, design CPUs, and whatever. Back in the days, it was exactly the same. However, they had more access to, let's call it magic and help from the other side. So it's a mixture. I believe that. But they have erased everything. I believe there was a guy on YouTube called Brandon Levon, which talked about the 3 ages of the astrology. That every time, first you have the age of the creator, then comes the age of the savior, then comes the age of the destroyer. And a very good example is when you look at Egypt, when you look at the Sphinx, doesn't look odd? A lion body with a female head, because the female was in between the age of the creator and the age of the destroyer. They wanted to warn us for what's coming with the flood, so to speak. That face is the Virgin. It's an astrological. Sorry, I'm not being clear. It's a sign, astrological sign. It's the same with the lion. It was in that crossroads between the age of the creator and age of the savior, and then comes the age of the destroyer. Every time these stories in the past, always the same gig. Age of the creator, age of the savior, so-called saviors, gods that save humanity, blah blah blah. And then came the age of the destroyer, when they start to reset the whole civilization. And who knows how many times that happened in the past. It's really hard to find evidence, because when you're dealing with tsunamis, floods, and time. Even steel, aluminum will just go away. After a couple of 100 years, you won't find any evidence. Same with plastics. They say a couple of thousands. Some say a couple of 100 years when plastic goes away. Regardless, and it's enough time to erase the memory of our previous past. That's what they're doing. And they always emerge themselves, the elite, as the new gods every fucking time. They keep the technology from the previous civilizations before the reset. They keep the technology that hardworking men have designed. They keep those technology just like now. When they see talented people, they will want to take these people and work for the elite because they are extremely intelligent. They can manufacture certain robots or whatever you call it, free energy. They will take these people, give them a lot of money to work for them. Once the reset comes, obviously they don't have use anymore for these people. They don't care anymore, but they will keep the knowledge. All the knowledge gained in all these previous destructions of civilizations. They keep the knowledge. And every time they keep the knowledge, they gain more and more power. More and more power. That's why they want to stay here. They have ways to bypass the reincarnation cycle. But it's another topic. That's what they're doing every time.
I'm looking for, because they're scared of death. I wanted to show you guys this.
Question is, why are they scared for death?
Hold on, let me show you. Oops. Well, because I think that they know that this is all that they have. Hold on. Is that coming up? Okay, I wanted to show this video real quick.
Castles, usually really creepy ones that are run down and filled with terrifying legends. And the Czech Republic's Huska Castle is no exception. But unlike most castles, its walls weren't built to defend against an enemy attack, but rather to keep the enemy trapped within. The Czech Republic has been called the castle capital of the world. Although the country's only about the size of South Carolina, it's got more than 2,000 of them. The most famous is Prague Castle, the centerpiece of the country's bustling capital and the largest castle complex in the world. Prague Castle was built next to the central market. But head 30 miles north of Prague and you'll find a different kind of fortress. Built 4 centuries after Prague Castle, Huska Castle is its complete opposite. For starters, Huska is located in a remote part of the Czech countryside that has no strategic importance. There's no trade route nearby. In fact, there isn't even a water source. And the castle has almost no meaningful defenses or fortifications. So what on earth is it doing here? The answer lies deep beneath Huska. And it turns out this castle is no fairy tale. It's a place straight out of a horror story. Around the year 1200, local residents start to report strange sightings in these forested mountains. After dark, some claim to witness winged demons flying out of a bottomless pit. But the peasantry's superstitious beliefs hold little sway with the region's duke, and according to a local legend, he's determined to disprove the rumors. The story goes that he brings prisoners from the nearby jail to the edge of the pit, offering freedom to anyone willing to be lowered into the hole and report back what he sees. One volunteer steps forward and begins his descent into darkness. The rope goes down and down. Even the skeptical Duke starts to wonder if the young prisoner will ever reach the bottom. Suddenly, the rope jerks. The prisoner screams in agony and begs to be pulled up. When he finally reaches the surface, everyone is shocked by what they see. The young prisoner has become an old man. Legend says he was so disturbed by whatever he encountered down there that he's put into an insane asylum and dies just 2 days later. Now, I've been to some real hellholes in my time, but according to local lore, this crack in the earth in the Czech Republic is a real gate to hell. So the Duke consults with the king, and they decide not to take any chances. Huska Castle was completed in 1278, positioned directly on top of the pit. Some say in an attempt to seal the dark forces of hell inside the mountain forever. Nearly 800 years later, the castle's current owners are committed to protecting it from falling into the wrong hands. But the property's caretaker is happy to share stories with anyone brave enough to visit Huska.
To save time, castle architects used building materials that were easily available, so they would not have to haul heavy stones up the hill. Here, you can see where they dug right into the mountain to make the walls.
Inside these stone walls, dead birds are often found lying in the courtyard. Locals believe the dark energy coming out of Huska Castle kills them as they fly overhead. As you head inside the Gothic-style structure, religious iconography abounds. In the hunting hall, the surrounding rock penetrates the castle's interior.
All the animals you see mounted here were hunted from the surrounding forests. Wild pigs, deer, sheep, they all ended up on the baking pan, and their heads ended up on the wall.
But if it's demons you're here to see, Miroslav will direct you down to the cellar, which is known as Satan's office.
This is the deepest part of the castle, which is built with the thickest walls.
Medieval people in these parts were very religious and believed the power of God would be their best defense.
The chapel that was built here acts like a buffer to protect everyone from the hell that lies beneath us.
The room is dedicated to the Archangel Michael, who's said to have led an army against the forces of evil. Oddly, for a house of God, references to Satan are everywhere. This figure is aiming her arrow with her left hand. In the Middle Ages, left-handedness was associated with the devil.
If you look closely, the left-handed archer is half woman, half horse.
You may recognize this hybrid creature as the centaur from pagan myth. But why would a pagan creature be featured on the walls of a Christian church? Well, that's exactly what the Nazis wanted to know. Shortly after Hitler's armies take over Czechoslovakia in 1939, the SS make their way to Huska Castle. In 2016, the Czech National Library unearthed 13,000 books on the occult and witchcraft from a Nazi vault, a collection amassed by Hitler's right-hand man, Heinrich Himmler. It's no secret that Himmler was fascinated with supernatural phenomena and pagan rituals. So he ordered Nazi soldiers to seize control of Huska, to investigate the rumors of evil forces lurking beneath the castle.
During World War II, the Nazis came to Huska with all sorts of
review a bit,
religious.
Emily.
They had a complete Jewish library, texts on the occult, and Masonic books. It is believed that they
should
were
review
doing
a bit.
ceremonies here.
Otherwise you will be struck for copyright.
So, what exactly was the Germans' ultimate goal here? Heinrich Himmler's obsession with the occult suggests they would have tried to create some sort of supernatural weapon or army.
Can you
If
hear
this
me,
is
Emily?
true, the question is,
Hello?
what would have happened if they succeeded? Fortunately, the Allies
Yeah, you should pause a bit to give you a review of what, otherwise they can strike you for copyright. You have the right to show this, but you have to give your opinion what you're seeing. I
Oh,
understand. Otherwise, they will strike you for copyright. You are allowed to show this, but you have to give feedback on the video itself.
anyway, I played that because I have more stuff to go with that, but that little Yoda guy that I was talking about.
Yeah, that little guy. Yeah.
Okay, so I saw him, and I showed this in another video that I made. Hold on, let me get the picture.
Is he friendly, by the way?
He's insane, usually.
No, but is he friendly? Is he
Down
not
deep,
harmful?
down deep, he is, but he's hooked into all of this, so. Okay, I wanted
Oh,
to,
before you continue, I'll be right back.
okay,
Just keep on if you want to, but I'll be right back.
okay. So, where is he? Wanted to show you guys this. How do I make this bigger? Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I saw this little Yoda guy over the summer was showing me an avatar that looked just like that. And then Jelani sent me this picture saying something about Mephistopheles being conjured by this magician. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he just sent me that. I mean, I just saw him like in a portal, like, and it looked like the top of that castle that I was just playing the video of. But in this portal, there was all kinds of messed up satanic avatars coming out of it that kind of look like this, like from this realm of magic that I always see. And usually during the day when I'm going through this kind of stuff, whatever is coming through my eyes, I can get rid of it through the sun. Like it dissipates like in the sun. Or I can lay down and stuff will get pulled down. It depends on like what kind of stuff is getting hooked into my astral, like if my astral body, if I have an open portal or something. But this thing would not go up or down. And then I found a video. Okay, I need to find this video that I saved for you guys. I found a video the other day that again shows this guy, and I was like, I knew it. It is Yoda. It's Abraxas. Hold on, I have to get to my, okay, here it is. Woman. Hold on.
Abraxas is a symbol. Abraxas is a Gnostic deity. Abraxas is another name for Mithras, a god far older than Christianity. Abraxas is the sun. Abraxas is a code that leads souls beyond the prison of flesh, whom even ancient writers couldn't seem to agree is a kind of Rorschach test. It's open to a variety of interpretations, and what you see might say more about you than about what you're looking at. But anyone who chooses to employ this symbol, who finds wisdom here or sees it as an object of reverence, could be falling into a trap set by the devil himself. If that sounds preposterous, well, that's because it is preposterous, but that doesn't mean it's not true, because there's something to understand about Abraxas, but in order to do so, we need to go back to the book of Numbers and one of the strangest episodes in the Bible. As Numbers 21 opens, God leads Israel in a massive victory against the Canaanites. But pretty soon, as we often see in Scripture, God's people begin grumbling against him. They complain about their food and conditions and even have the audacity to ask if he led them out of Egypt only to let them perish in the desert. God, in response, sends poisonous snakes to bite the people of Israel, and many of these bites prove fatal. Moses asks God for help, and at God's instruction, he fashions a bronze serpent and places it on a pole. Those afflicted with snake bites, when they look on it, are spared. Weird, right? It seems unbelievable that God would ask Moses to make a serpent deceived Eve and cause the fall of humankind. Christians identify the serpent with the devil. And what does this have to do with Abraxas? Well, it's about to get weirder. There's a common belief among Gnostics that the serpent in the Garden of Eden, the snake who deceived Eve, is in fact a benevolent being. After all, they say the serpent gave us knowledge. Many Gnostics think that the God of the Old Testament is an inferior being who, jealous of humans' divine nature, kicked them out of paradise for their disobedience. So they revered or even worshipped the snake. We find snakes in a lot of Gnostic artifacts. Keep in mind the story in Numbers, which features a snake on a stick. Where else do we see a snake on a stick? This is the caduceus, commonly used as a symbol in medicine, but it's been called a misuse as the symbol was more traditionally associated with alchemy and with the messenger gods Hermes and Thoth. These deities bear an important connection to Abraxas as they're mediators between human beings and the world of the gods. But they're not often portrayed as serpents. We also find the caduceus here, in this image of the agathodaimon. The Gnostics, like their New Age counterparts today, frequently appropriated gods and symbols from other traditions. The agathodaimon, or good spirit, is a prime example. Just look at this ring worn by Carl Jung. This is an ancient gem bearing the image of the agathodaimon. In this gem, the agathodaimon has 7 points on its head. In another gem, we see the agathodaimon also with 7 points, with the 7 vowels of the Greek alphabet. This, according to scholar C.W. King, is a symbol of the 7 heavens, and in this gem, we find Abraxas on one side and the Greek letters Iota, Alpha, Omega on the other. Iota, Alpha, Omega is a shortened form in Greek of the name of the Hebrew god. The connection between...
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yoda.
I heard Yoda, and there's a lot more to say. Very obvious.
Yeah.
Because this Agato diamond is also connected to Jesus Christ. That's where they got their savior stories from. It's very old. And regarding Yoda, that double-faced crook, yeah, they actually showed his nature in. I don't know if you watched the movie Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, you could.
No.
They showcased his true nature. Well, what happened to Anakin Skywalker? That the name alone is occult. Anakin Skywalker, it has ties with a certain group of people. Anakin. I didn't went too deep, so I'm just saying this out of memory. But why I'm calling him Two-Faced, and why I ask you if he is good towards you, but I think he's a trickster, and he played a game with, if you have open eyes to see what happened in the movie, especially directed from George Lucas, not what happens now with the garbage that is the woke community. They ruined Star Wars. There is a reason why it was so popular back in the 70s. There's a reason for it. But anyway, what Yoda did, the trickster, in Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin became Darth Vader, is that Yoda kept retitling Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker was basically ready to lead an army. However, Yoda kept saying, "No, you're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready." And the whole group of Jedi, these other tricksters, they betitled him. They gaslighted him. However, Anakin didn't go against it. He just took it. He thought it was just, be wise. Your time will come.
That's why I'm
However-
done with all of this shit. In the spring, I'm getting off the internet. I'm literally.
Now, this is
just
how they
taking-
trick you. This is how they trick you. The movie shows you a certain social aspect of these tricksters. So they betitled, they treated him like a child, even though he was ready, he had a skill set to actually lead an army. And if Yoda was actually really in touch with the so-called source, this what they call, there's a term for it in Star Wars, may the force be with you, blah blah blah. If they actually listened to it, they would realize he would join the dark side. But they kept betitling him, they kept treating him like a child until finally he went over to the dark side. For if you watch the movie, you know why he went to the dark side. He was done treating like a child. And then when he became Darth Vader, you would see his true potential. His suit was made to severely decrease his power. Without his suit, he would be much more powerful. And they missed an opportunity because that's a trickster. The trickster realizes who Anakin was and didn't want him to become powerful. That's why they treated him like a little bitch, so to speak. And that's the whole gig of this Yoda figure. I've seen it. I've read into it. It's a trickster. It's a trickster, pretending to guide you or whatever, but it knows your
he
essence.
definitely
It
hasn't
knows.
been guiding me, but I've been studying him for sure.
And again, the number 7, always pops up. This 7. It's
the 7
connected with
Argon.
it's connected with the Demiurge, the whole system here.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Buddha, fat fuck Buddha. I don't know if people know this, but he had a really luxurious life. He was a prince. He had access to really good food. He had slaves surrounding him, and he had a private harem of prostitutes when he can have sex whenever he want, follow his fucking carnal lusts. One day, he came out of that protected life, and he saw these people sleeping on the ground in the dirt. He was wondering, why are you sleeping on the ground? I've never seen it. And that's when he became enlightened, so to speak, because he saw the suffering. But the thing I have issues with is these 7 cobras. 7 cobras pop up out of nowhere to guide him, to basically maybe to derail him, because his spirit was pure when he went outside and he saw these horrific things. Then they made this religion surrounding this Buddha. You have to do this, you have to meditate. But when you meditate, you have a high chance of getting in contact with unclean spirits. And plus, through meditation, you're zoned out, basically. So your logical mind becomes asleep. And many people can attest to that with certain meditation. You can look it up online. When people do this deep meditation, all of a sudden their life becomes miserable. Why? Because unclean spirit enters your aura field. And maybe Buddha didn't want that to happen, they just take over his viewpoints. Then he 7 fucking cobras above his head. But guess what? If you look at Mecca, same thing. How many times do the pilgrims have to revolve around Mecca? 7 times. 7 lucky gods. 7 up.
The
Lucky number 7.
Nag Hammadi.
No, I'm just saying that the 7 is the primary number of the
No,
system.
I'm saying I know, but the Nag Hammadi, just like the Nag, the 7-headed cobra.
Yeah, and that's what you see above Buddha's head. The 7 heavens, the 7 archangels, 7 deadly sins. It's always 7, huh? It's always 7, 7, 7, 7, 7.
That's how
They
many
keep pushing.
archon there are.
Yeah, archangels, basically, generals. You have the demiurge, and he created for himself sons. And under that, you have a whole slew of archons, billions. There are a lot more of them than there are from than there are spirits, real spirits. There are more of them than us.
Well, because they have a lot of copies, but if you get to the source of each one, then that's where what you want to do. That's why I'm always saying it's pointless to sit here and do this astral war kind of thing, because you're just messing with holograms.
Yeah, in a way, yes. It's just like with DMT. And all these people say the same things when they encounter these machine elves. I think when you take DMT, it's not an astral realm, because astral is more universal. You can go to certain constellations, you can talk to certain beings, no matter if they are Nordics, human-like, alien-like. There's so many types of beings that you can encounter inside the astral realm, which is universal. Let's say it's universal. However, if you take DMT, you go straight to their. This is just opinion. You go straight to the mainframe of the archons. That's why you meet these machine elves. Always the same, with these bright colors, weird stuff going on, but it's always almost the same. Clown-like realms that has pretty much nothing to do with what OBE is doing. When they go out of a body, they go inside the universal astral realm. However, if you take DMT, you go straight to basically to the mainframe of these archons. That's how I see it. And people talk about it, they say the same things over and over. The same beings being encountered when you take DMT, the same type of realm, colorful, it's like a cartoon, and pixelated. So this is possible with DMT. You enter the Archon mainframe. That's how I see it.
Well, there's several different layers, and my whole thing is like, if you're in your true self, your true body, you're not going to have any questions when you're there. Like, there won't be any doubt or fear.
Possible.
So everything else that's just bringing up all these questions and everything, you're just at another layer.
Yeah, it's just how to fight these demons is like I said yesterday. I try to how to defend yourself against a bully in the physical. If the bully is a master in karate and you have no experience in any way of self-defense or attacking, guess what the bully will do? He will smack you. He will destroy you. 100%. No doubt. However, if you go practice yourself, a good martial arts can be boxing, can be kickboxing, can be whatever you like, and you trained, and the bully comes to you, then it's either an equal battle or you'll destroy him. It's the same when you go to the spirit realm. People can say, I don't consent. No. When someone wants to harm you, you have no way to escape. Your talk with "don't hurt me," you're violating my free will. It doesn't help. If he's hell bent to harming you or even kill you, he will kill you. Period. It's
Well,
the
you have
same in
to
the
know their
spirit.
tricks just as well as they know you, and they have a far better they know us better than we know ourselves for the most part, because they've been programming us and monitoring us and
Yeah,
in every part of our life,
you need to lose the fear, which might take
which is,
years and years.
well, the body is what fears. Our spirit does not fear at all. Our
That's
spirit knows
courage.
exactly.
That's courage. When the body pumps you full with fear, when you're dying, that's the body. That's the last farewell, last stab inside of you in hopes you go inside the other realm with a confused, traumatic, and fearful mind. But that's when courage come in. Courage is dealing with fear and still fight, even though you're afraid. That's the difference between a coward and someone who's courageous, dealing with the fear. And that's what they want to take away from men. But like I said, when you're going into the spirit and saying, I don't consent, like these sissies are saying, yeah, I don't think it will help.
I
You have
did
to
that
fight.
so, I mean, I screamed that. I did so much. Like when this first started, I went and talked to this preacher, like at the church that we were going to. I got back into like Christianity because I didn't know what was going on. And so people come to my channel and they're like, you need to find Christ and pray to the Lord. And I'm like, I grew up, you know, Catholic and Christian. And so that was the first thing that I turned to. And these demons were coming at me even harder. And I was like, well, I must be doing something right. Well, then, you know, Jesus never came to save me through this whole thing. And that made me feel even worse. And I just had this like endless cycle of like guilt and shame about that. And I mean, it was really scary, but throughout this whole thing, like I found my strength and that I can't depend on anybody else but me to get through it.
Yeah, there are plenty of stories of people who gave their spirit to Jesus Christ, and it never pans out. Their life becomes even more horrible. So yeah, there you have it. It's just many times, and it won't show you that. They only show certain positive results. Oh, I called
Well, I think
Jesus
he was
Christ,
trying to
and he
tell
helped
us
me.
like who we are, and they changed them into their ritual. Like they do everyone that tries to tell people
You'll
what we
find the
are.
truth. You'll find the
Mhm.
truth in certain alien abductions that you won't find in YouTube, banned or removed. When these people got abducted by these fucking soulless beings that you might call grace, and they screaming for the Heavenly Father or Jesus Christ. Guess what? Guess what? Some of these beings do. There can be grace. There can be other types, mantis or Nordics. Guess what they do? They fucking laugh. They laugh. They literally laugh, and they proceed with the torture. Jesus, help me. They kept laughing and laughing as if it's a fucking joke. That is the truth. That is what's happening. Of course, I know people will say, "Oh no, that's disinfo from Satan. He wants to believe that Jesus has no power." It's the number one promoted religion. Of course, they have to play good cop and bad cop. So when people say, "Well, it's the number one promoted religion," the other the other coin, other side of the coin will say, "Well, it's the number one attacked religion." Oh, then these people will think, oh, there must be truth in it. Let me look into it. That's exactly the trap. That's exactly the trap where they want you in. No matter
Well,
if you really believe in him or not, both sides have it right. Both sides.
exactly. And when people say, well, they have to tell you the truth and they keep searching like through the internet and like pulling out these little bits of information, a little bit of truth or even a lot of truth with a little bit of lie in it, it's both the same thing. It's both absolutely disgusting, and that's how they work. And that's how they kept people in this slave system the whole entire time. So it doesn't
Yeah,
matter if that's how they think that they're getting away with this shit too. Like, oh, we told you guys. Sorry that you were too busy like working and everything to actually catch it.
yeah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit to me. When they say, "Yeah, we showed you stuff," it's on you, blah blah blah. But then at the same time, they manipulate your free will, manipulate your how you look at the world, and massively program you. And what's the point in that? People don't see it, anyways. They are blind to all these signs. They can't see it. So that's the danger. They don't see it at all.
What? Sorry, I'm typing.
No problem.
What did you
That's
just
the
say?
issue. Who me?
Yeah, I thought you
No,
said
no, go
something.
ahead. Go ahead. Type. I'll
Oh,
wait.
here, let me put it on mute so you can talk. Oh my gosh, I just messed up my whole entire thing here. Oh no, I didn't.
Well, that's the issue with the majority of the truth movement. It's installment.
And so
It's
calculated, it pisses me off like so much to see how much
no, it's actually good in the beginning. Even people like Anne Marie and
uh-huh.
Lalita, Howdy, whatever his name is, forever con man. They actually give a lot of truth in the beginning, so it's pretty important for those that start their journey. You understand? So it's pretty. Even David Icke. David Icke is one of the best sources of information. However, we know he's just, yeah, yeah. I believe he's a chill, an agent, because he's allowed to fill up football stadiums. Who, if he indeed was telling the whole truth, and then allow him to enter a football stadium packed? That's something. Plus, he lives, from what I've learned, he lives in the Isle of Wight, which is notorious for um, child abuse. Very notorious for child
Oh yeah.
abuse. I don't know if he's connected with it. I don't know, but it's pretty. Yeah, it's a red flag. But he's masterful. Even if he was an agent, he's masterful. He will guide you in all the first facets of what's going on in this world. He's a masterful. But after that, then what? Truth movement, by large, just yeah, basically repeating certain stuff. And I think when you're at the end of your road, you'll know it. How? Well, for me, this is for me only. Yeah, I lost my sense of humor because humor is a joke is another form of attacking another person. And I've mentioned it in another stream with Sing. He was on my he got it because when you're, let's say you Amber, when you're in a group of people, there's 6 of you, and one of them targets you, makes makes a pretty disgusting joke about you, and the others, well, let me put it, the others are laughing. Yeah, they're laughing. They really have a jolly time. Which person doesn't laugh?
Me. I heard you
Yeah.
talk about this on Ian's
Yes.
stream,
So
and
this is
it's
why
true.
certain humor you have to pay really close, especially from people who you don't know, and they make certain jokes about the way you look, the way you speak, or the topics that you mention. They make certain fun out of you. It's happened to me, but that's why I don't. Jokes should be done with people that you know, that know you, then a joke is fine. It's actually laughable. Then you can really laugh about a joke. But online, when people make jokes, it's more of an attack wrapped in a joke.
Well, I was thinking earlier about, so I've only been on the internet. I came on here because of what I had gone through, and I wanted to share that. And I saw this whole like fake awakening stuff going on, and I was like, I have to just speak out about this because this is really messed up. But I was thinking earlier about the reason why I never got on the internet before. I've always had, like, my whole entire life, which I think is from previous before this life, I've never liked technology. And when I saw, like, when Facebook first came out, what I noticed was like these adults, I wasn't even on there, but I just remember hearing on the news and stuff, like people finding their old high school loves and everything like that. And everything that I heard about it and saw about it felt very high school to me. And I'm like, why are adults acting like this? Like, this is really weird behavior, like already from the internet. And that was when it very first started. And so when I got on here, I've only been on 2 other live streams, and that's Ian's channel and then Sanity Machine. And I never felt comfortable like anywhere, because I just felt like everybody was kind of sticking at, like, whenever you would say something, everybody gangs up on the freedom of speech. Like, to just hear people out was very, it was not tolerated, like, by the majority of people that I've spoken with.
Yeah, I agree.
And then
I
in a
agree.
very, like, underhanded way too. You know what I mean? Like, not that they were just outright like shut up or anything like that. It's just a very, like, very underhanded tone on a lot of streams. I'm not calling them out. I'm just saying, like, everywhere that I've been, I've never felt comfortable. That's why I stay here on my channel and just do it when I can. And I'm about done with all of this. Like, I think everybody should seriously take what we got out of all of this experience and get off the internet soon. I'm just feeling that push,
Yeah,
like,
that's
big time.
that's the end stop. But to go back to certain channels, yes, I did say TSM is allowed to speak only if he is conducting himself properly. By the way, certain channels will post something what I said. Let's say Ian's channel saying that I pushed Joshua to bring TSM. The thing is, that is out of context, and I expected more from this individual. Who comes across pretty intelligent, I give him that, but then tries to, a comment. I know what he's doing. He puts me in a dark light, so I know what you're doing. But anyway, he forgets to mention that I'm now an enemy of TSM, just a troll, another troll, so to speak, another enemy. He forgets that, but I don't care. I want to listen to both sides of the story. From these people, from
Yeah.
Joshua's perspective, Ian's perspective, but also
Yeah.
from the Sanity's machine perspective. And I see both of these parties have both a lot to say. I'm not talking about specific going to attacking individuals. I'm talking about the overall picture. TSM has a lot good things to say. Ian has a lot of good things to say, just as well as Joshua. You can say,
Mhm.
hey, I disagree with you. But then you all of a sudden you become an enemy. It's just ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying
Ridiculous.
too. It's like high school, like, kind of like pack behavior, which I'm just not built that way. Like, I have friends, Mickle loves Sanity Machine, and, I'm a different mind. I'm a different person. And
Yeah,
that
for
doesn't
me,
mean that I sit there and argue with Mickle over stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like what you like, and I like you, and I like you for you. It doesn't matter to me. Like
I wouldn't
we
be.
don't know these people in real life. That's the whole thing, and everybody gets so attached to them, and they don't know you, so you can't know them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. If I go live, maybe I would allow TSM on my channel. Period. He should be allowed to voice his voice. I have no issue. I have literally no issue. Let him speak if he wants to speak. If Joshua wants to come to my channel, I respect him, and I agree with a lot of points he's saying. Same with Ian. Same with all these other channels. I'm not afraid. If you want to say something, say something. Say it.
Right.
Say it. I don't care. I'm looking at two sides of the coin. I want to hear their context, and for the record, I repeat myself. Yes, TSM sees me as a troll. However, I've done nothing. I didn't porn bomb his stream, whatever. So yeah, that's all I can say. But people think, oh, you're one of them or whatever. Even even tell me I'm a cooler. Oh, you're probably Frieza's brother, bad guy. So now I'm using this avatar to troll them. Here you go. That's how you think about me. Go ahead. Don't care.
Well, that's
Doesn't
why
hurt me.
I don't like pointing out just individuals. And to me, I talk about the things that I don't agree with, and try and show that across the board why I don't like that kind of stuff for me.
But
And
they get stories, they invent stories about certain individuals. Oh, he is this, he is that. Even though I treat these persons with respect. Joshua, I even sent him an email about my findings about the subconscious mind, and he shared it. And I gave him lots of credit. I've talked to Ian. I might not agree with all of his standpoints. It should be allowed. It's just mature. We are mature people. And even TSM. However, my experience with him, first time I talked to him was cool. Was nothing wrong. But the next time, he just told me to fuck off. You're one of them. So there you have it. I don't mind. I
yeah, he did
understand
it
why.
to me too.
I
But
understand why he's saying that, because he has a lot of trolls. But he just
yeah,
unjustified called me a troll for whatever reason.
but when you know who you are and you're putting yourself out here anyways, I mean, you just have to know who you are and not let it, bother you. And there are much bigger issues than all of this stuff. And I would really like to start getting to the core of those in the next couple months while I'm here.
Yeah, the core is a lonely journey in the end.
Uh-huh.
Nobody has your essence or experience. Neither anyone has mine experience. It's in the end, it's a narrow path. And that's why I said trust no one. Literally trust no one. When you're in a body filled with demons and programming, the only one you can actually trust is your spirit. And I'm not really talking about the inner journey. For me, the inner journey means becoming aware. Becoming aware, realize that you're living in a world filled with lies. How can you enjoy a world that's a lie? You
And that's
can't.
one reason, like one way that the demons, like they travel in packs and they have loyalty, and loyalty does not come from trust. Loyalty comes from sticking together no matter what, you know? And
I mean, the demons.
that's not where I'm at. I have to trust somebody, and the only people that I can trust are people that I've had in my life. I know how they treat me. I know what they do in emergency situations. And so I don't have that here on the internet.
When you said loyalty from the dark side,
Mm-hmm.
can you say me more? Because you said it's about trust.
Yeah, and they're
I'm
loyal. I
talking
mean,
about the dark
it does.
side, the dark side.
Yeah, on the dark side, like Legion, they stick together no matter what. It doesn't matter what that person says or does. They're going to stick with them and fight for them. And that's how they've like been able to run this system because it doesn't matter what they independently think or what else is going on. They know that they have to stick together, otherwise they're weak.
Yeah, in a way, but it's also about fear. They rule
Yeah.
through fear. The hierarchy, it's a hierarchy. So when you're not
And
following
it keeps the
commands,
lie going when you have so many that are protecting it and making it look like, it keeps the
they
lie
are
going.
no, when you don't follow commandments, you'll be destroyed. Simple for the demon. You will be destroyed
Yep.
because there is no real essence inside of you. So they rule through fear. That's why. And those demons who doing a good job probably get certain rewards,
Oh, they
even
get told
higher.
that they will.
No, they will. They will. Otherwise, even a
They
demon
get
is not dumb.
momentary rewards.
No, you can lift your up self to uh, more energy. You get more energy food, or become even an officer or a general or whatever. They really rule with hierarchy. And all the way on the top, we have our scumbag, the Yaldabot. He's at the top end, and his sons are as generals. And then we have all these
Mhm.
officers, and you name it. It's all there. But they rule through fear. Fear. And fear is a really, really good tool to control.
And
That's
compartmentalization, like I was talking about trying to with you yesterday, is that they compartmentalize so nobody has the complete picture and nobody has like all of the access. And they do that everywhere here.
I think we can do that, but you have to do it alone.
Yeah,
The
you
inner
have to do it
journey,
alone. You have to.
inner journey. I'm not talking about the inner journey sitting still and meditate or whatever. I think the inner journey is really see your world around you, the pain it causes in a deeper level. And you can recognize it in other people, and that's the moment you basically reach your end stop. Because yeah, what's the point in researching further? People just moving around in circles for the most part. For the most part, I'm not saying all channels, but they're moving around in circles. That's when you reach your end. I've been doing it for a very, very long time, and I realize I don't know if I'm going to do live streams. I might do a couple, then I'm done. Also with the internet, I have no joy in movies, no joy in TV shows, no joy in games. None of that. None. It's an internal journey. You have to realize that this world is not meant for you. You have no control over it. Yet the world has a lot of control over you. And where's free will in that? There is none. Then you have to
Right.
fight against the programming and strengthen your spirit. And that's for every one of us different. You can say how to do it, but what's the point? You have to do it yourself. Find yourself.
The
You have
only
your
way
path.
to really help each other is to show like, the tactics that are being used against us. And I'm really going to go into all that magic stuff that we were talking about yesterday and how they're using that every single day on us. So you have to sit there and reflect on that. Like, why are they using so much just for a loosh farm or something like that? It's not. It's because we're a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's not only loose, it's a lot more. It's basically dumbest down. It's terrible what they're doing, but yeah. If the truth movement had any impact, real impact, it should have happened like in the 2000s, back in the 2000s.
Yeah,
Should have
and
happened,
instead
but it
people are
didn't.
sitting here, we're all still divided and going through conspiracy stuff.
It's the same with other forums. You see the same thing happening. No matter if you go to a gaming forum or a forum about cars or whatever, you will see trolls. The same thing happening over and over and over again. Trolls, people debate, people cursing each other. It's there. And you think the conspiracy realm is free of all of that? Nope. Truther fight against another truther. Yeah, and there you have it. At some point, it's just absolutely pointless, except for people that start. Then it's valuable information. Like I said, all these people, Anne Marie, Lalita have all valuable information. But after that, and especially when you add in services, I don't trust services. Period. I've seen the damage they've causing. I'm not calling out specific names, but they've done a lot of damage, and I've seen it. But you're not allowed to speak about that stuff, so I respect that. Because it's their channel. I can't.
Well, I hope that you do some lives on your own.
Yeah, I might. I might. Even then, it's maybe a couple of times. I'm not going to do it every time because yeah, I'm fed up. Like I
Well,
said,
I tried to do open panels and it was just, you get people that come in and suck energy and don't add, and then you get bickering or you don't get anywhere with the topic. It's just really hard to do with a lot of people. So people
no,
that actually can do that, I give them props for that.
I know it's the way this realm works. You always have people who come in and don't add anything, none, zero. You always have that button to kick them off. If they have absolutely nothing to offer, kick them because they don't
Yeah,
add anything, even though you gave them like multiple chances. And if they still keep doing what they're doing, add nothing, then what's the point having them here? How about allow
right.
someone else that adds way more to the table than someone who just waste someone's time, especially for the viewer and listeners.
It's pretty difficult over here though, because it's hard to find somebody that to relate with, especially like what I've been through. I can't find anybody to talk to about it. And that's why I came here, to look for people to talk to about it. And the closest people that I found, it was like we related on a lot of ways, and then other ways we didn't. And those ways kind of like made me part with them. So there
Yeah,
you are
eventually.
again on your own.
Yeah, you're literally on your own. You might have some support with like-minded people, but in the end, like raw, you're born alone, die alone. Yeah, that's it. Born alone, die alone. That's how I see it. Yeah, it's pretty rough, but that's how I see it.
Okay, well, I am wiped out after
Yeah, me
last
too. I
night
was
and
about to
today.
say it. I was about to say it. I cannot stay for long.
But
Maybe
I'm glad
last
that we
weeks.
came on tonight because I didn't like how any of that went yesterday. And that's not what I want any kind of energy here being about. But
Yeah,
I'm
I just
also, huh?
nah, I just felt a bit sad for Joshua. I did at one point said to him, just allow him to finish, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's allowed to speak his mind. You know, it's important that people, when they come in as a guest, that they should have time to talk. You know, it's very important, no matter who it is. Even people that deem a certain individual as bad or whatever. I'm not gonna name names, but they should allowed to speak as long as they behave. If they don't behave and use really horrible stuff when they say certain things, especially I don't know, family members or whatever, then kick them off. Period.
Well, I don't think that we should be calling anybody demons here except for the ones that know what they're doing. Like, and there are ones that know and call that stuff to them, and those are the ones that need to be called out. But
You can recognize
there's a
them,
big
but
difference.
you can recognize these people, even though they come across as really friendly, but then start to they make underlying comments, and I pay very close attention to what they say.
Uh-huh.
Many times they contradicting themselves, and when you call them out, that's when they kind of being silent. They cannot answer your question. That's when you have checkmated them. Because I'll try to remember what they say, the underlying stuff. I'm not going to say names again, but yeah, I confronted them,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden they became silent. They have to really think hard. I think you know what I mean. You
Yeah.
heard the recording, so yeah, it's there. It's all there, and yeah, you have to confront these double speak snakes. They pretend to be nice and willing to help you, but then when you hear
And I
that
took it
underlying,
down because that wasn't even supposed to be on my channel. It was supposed to be on Mickle's channel, but he couldn't get it
yeah,
going.
he was drunk.
Yeah.
He was drunk. Just period. He was drunk, constantly attacking in a way. And I understand he was just under the influence of alcohol. That's not a good sign because alcohol is a form of spiritism. You attract certain unclean unclean spirits. That's why I felt like, man, let Joshua speak. Let him speak.
It was getting to me so bad at the end. I was just like, oh, I can't. And I live like in a resort area. So during the summer, there's a lot of drinking going on, and I can just feel it everywhere. I hate it. And it's really, I could barely think by the end of that whole entire thing.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially after yesterday. So yeah, I couldn't say anything. I couldn't say. I was just there listening. I said a couple of things and that's it. But this time around, it's way different. We talked about a lot of stuff freely.
Yeah. And I liked that everybody was, getting to speak their mind and everything. That's not the point. The point is it gets to a point where you're not really speaking your mind.
Exactly. Amberly, I'm getting foggy. My mind is not really.
Okay. Well, thank you
get
so
tired.
much for coming on, and thank you everybody for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me here, and have a good one.
Yeah, you
Talk to you
too.
soon.
And if you
Thank
start doing anything on your channel, let me know.
Yeah, sure. I'll let you know.
All
Thank you.
right. Have a good night.
Bye. You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.